A fix for the worst housing market in the US in 30 years. Hey everyone, it's Wolfgang. This is a problem that's affecting almost all of us. This is the worst US housing market since 1995, 30 years ago. The lowest number of home sales. There's a lot of economic activity that happens when someone sells their home and then when they buy a new home. A lot of economic activity that is not happening right now. We have very low home sales. The problem is interest rates are too high. I'm going to explain why they're too high, and I will explain a solution, and hopefully the government will take the solution. It seems like it would be very straightforward to make the change. So let's start with a short history of what's going on. So in 1995, 30 years ago, 7,250,000 homes were sold. So think about how much time has elapsed from 1995 until now. Has the population in this country grown? Yes, pretty dramatically, in fact. And to give you an idea of how the population can grow, in the late 1950s, around 1958 timeframe, the U.S. population was 189 million people. 189 million people. What is it now? 360 million people. About 66 years later, the population has almost doubled in 66 years. So from 1995 until now, 30 years, you can imagine the population has increased dramatically. And yet, last year, only 4 million homes were sold. 30 years ago, 7,250,000. Last year, a little bit more than half. Only 4 million homes sold last year, despite the huge population growth. So there are not enough homes that are selling. And why is that a problem? Well, it's sort of killing the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy is sort of dying because when people sell a home, they spend money to fix it up. When they buy a new home, they spend money to get it ready for them. New curtains, painting, new flooring, furniture, new appliances. None of that activity is happening, or a large part of that activity is not happening because interest rates are too high. No one is selling their home. People are locked into low interest rates, and interest rates are now too high. So not enough homes are selling. So the U.S. economy gets a lot of money from durable goods that are sold. What are durable goods? Durable goods are things that are durable. They last a long time. Furniture, appliances, flooring, which includes carpeting, it includes tile, wood flooring, appliances, and furniture. Those are durable goods. And the labor that is required to install and deliver those durable goods, none of that is, well, a large part of that is not happening right now. So that's a big problem. The U.S. economy gets a ton of money input into the economy, a ton of spending from the purchase of durable goods and the labor required to install and deliver the durable goods. So all that is turned off. A lot of it is. A lot of it that would otherwise be present in the economy. The number of the population growth from 30 years ago until now, there should be huge numbers of jobs selling and delivering and installing durable goods for home sales. And we have record low home sales, 30-year low. So, and then painting and home repairs. Because when people move out of an old home, they have to get it ready for sale. They have to spend money to fix it up, paint it, put it in good shape, and then they have to do the same thing to get their new home ready. So that spending has been curtailed. So the reason that's a big deal is think about all the companies selling the flooring, the appliances, the furniture. Think about all the people doing the labor. None of those people are getting, a lot of those people are not getting paid. There is a multiplier effect in the economy if they were getting paid. If those people were getting paid, they would turn around and spend money in the economy. So not only are they not getting paid, the places that they would spend money on are not getting paid either. That's the multiplier effect. It's not happening. The sellers of durable goods cannot spend their money. They're not making enough to spend. People are holding on to their money. They're scared of the economy. The economy is suffering right now. Laborers also cannot spend. There are a lot of laborers, a lot of tradespeople who are not working enough. They have too much free time, too much idle time. So that money is not making it into the U.S. economy. And again, it's because interest rates are too high. People are not selling homes, not buying homes because of interest rates. So let's see if I miss anything here. So here's a solution. Interest rates are too high. So let me give you a background on how mortgage rates, 30-year mortgage home loans, the interest is determined. In a perfect world, the interest rate would be determined by an entity, probably a government-sponsored entity, sort of like Fannie Mae. The mortgage interest rates would be uniquely determined by a government body based on the needs in the economy. Right now, 4 million homes being sold is not enough. Mortgage interest rates are too high. The solution is to lower interest rates. If a government body was responsible for setting mortgage interest rates, that number could double practically overnight. But that's not the way mortgage interest rates are determined. This is the screwed up thing about mortgage interest rates. Mortgage interest rates are connected to the bond market. The 10-year U.S. Treasury bond interest rate is used to determine mortgage interest rates. And here's why that's a problem. Just in the past few days, a lot of countries have been dumping U.S. Treasury bonds. When the supply of treasuries goes up, the price goes down and the interest rate goes up. So interest rates have been rising. So the fact that foreign countries can penalize because right now the United States is enacting tariffs. Retribution, revenge, is being taken by countries affected by that. They are dumping U.S. treasuries, and that raises interest rates even higher. So that is a big problem. So all connection to the bond market must be severed, must be cut off. Interest rates should not be, it should not be possible for a foreign country to get mad at us because we're trying to protect our markets with tariffs by dumping bonds and increasing our interest rates. They should not have that leverage. Right now, countries can dump U.S. Treasury bonds and destroy the housing market even more in this country. That it should not be possible. The reason that happens, if they dump their Treasury bonds, the price of those bonds drops. The interest rate on bonds is the inverse of the price of the bond. When the bond price drops, interest rate goes up, and we're stuck with even higher interest rates right now. So in the near future, watch the 10-year Treasury bond, watch the interest rate, watch it go up. More countries are going to be dumping our bonds because they're mad that we're trying to protect our jobs. The tariffs are designed to protect U.S. jobs. And countries have been sort of getting away with, I don't want to get too far into the tariff issue, but basically we need a separation between interest rates, the bond market, and 30-year mortgage rates. That's the bottom line. That's the point I want to get across in this video. So most people are not aware that mortgage interest rates come from the bond market. Most people don't know that. And it shouldn't be like that. So here are a couple ideas to fix this problem. Because what we want in this country is we want people to be able to get an affordable mortgage for their home. And when foreign countries can dump bonds and make 30-year mortgages unaffordable, that's not possible. It's just not happening for people who want to buy homes right now. So here's two ideas. Idea number one, a government-sponsored entity, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or something similar, could offer mortgage rates, could set mortgage rates, having nothing to do with bond markets. And that way, if foreign countries dump our treasury bonds, it would have no effect on home mortgage interest rates. Another idea, tie adjustable rate mortgages, ARMs, to a stable non-bond market index. In other words, most people prefer having a fixed interest rate mortgage. Other people like having an adjustable rate mortgage. So for fixed rate mortgages, we would have a government-sponsored entity to set mortgage rates. For adjustable rate mortgages, we'd have we'd have a non-bond market index. We'd have a stable index set by the government, by another government-sponsored entity to set the interest rates. In other words, all we want to do is we want to tell U.S. citizens, if you want a home and you want affordable interest rates, we now have a separate government-sponsored entity setting our interest rates, no longer connected to the bond market. It would then no longer be possible for countries to get mad at us and dump our bonds on the bond market and cause increases in interest rates. So watch the U.S. Treasury 10-year bond interest rate. It's been going up. And if it keeps going up, no one's going to, this problem is going to remain with us. 4 million homes, 30-year low home sales. It's killing the economy. It's just the fact that the bond market ever got connected to mortgage interest rates was stupid. That's my opinion, obviously, but it was a huge mistake. They should have thought it through. Had they realized what they were doing, they should have said, but wait a minute, if foreign countries dump our bonds, that's going to affect our mortgage rates. And they should have said, that's a bad idea. Let's set up a separate government entity responsible for establishing home loan interest rates. That's the way it should be. And I hope and pray we're going to get to that. Because if we don't fix this problem, there's just not enough transactions going on in the housing market. All these people who need work, the labor and the people selling durable goods, they need work. They need to have jobs. Everyone in this country who wants a job should be able to get a job. We can't have a country full of destitute, poor people. That is a disaster. That's a recipe for social disaster. It's just not what we want. We want people, if they want to buy a home, they're going to cause all these people to have income, to have a paycheck. That will keep the economy and our social fabric stable. That's what we need to do. And this is just one way to do it. Set up a government-sponsored entity to establish mortgage interest rates. with no connection to the bond market. This was a huge mistake. It's tragic, and a lot of people don't even know about it. But anyone watching this now, you know. Watch the 10-year Treasury interest rates and watch what happens. That's hurting us. It's hurting us. When they dump our bonds, they're trying to hurt us. They know that will hurt us, and that's why they dump the bonds on the bond market. So if you have any questions about this, please post in the comments. Yes, I'm a little bit passionate about the subject because I just think that this connection between mortgage interest rates and the bond market was just incredibly stupid, just a huge mistake. I mean, I understand what their thinking was because I studied it, okay? I understand what their thinking was, but it was a dumb decision to allow foreign countries to control our mortgage interest rates. These people need jobs. We can't have record low home sales. All these people will not have work. That's not good for the country. People need to have jobs. That's the bottom line. So if you have any questions, please post in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And I want to thank everyone for watching and have a great day.